What is up, YouTube? My name is Eben, and this is Forgotten Fridays, and we are returning, as you've already guessed from the title, to a deck that I was quite fond of from the past, and I just can't seem to let it go. And this is the return, the strike back of Medicham. Medicham strikes back. This is the Omega Barrage Medicham who can attack twice a turn, and obviously the idea is to get two fighting energies of some kind onto him and boost his attack as much as possible, so his Yoga Kick basically deals double damage because of the Omega Barrage, potentially leading to one-hit KOs. So we're running 4 Medichams, and we're running 4 Metatites, of course, to support that. That's pretty obvious. But this deck has changed a bit, and we're running 3 Lucario EX, because this guy is an amazing powerhouse. First of all, his Missile Jab says, I don't care about your resistance. And his Corkscrew Smash reloads your hand, which makes him a very good support card, especially in fast decks that like to play out their hand. And Somersault Kick is a good KO feature. And this guy has proven himself quite a bit to me, so we're definitely going to include him. We're going to incorporate him. We're also opting for 2 Hawlucha, because he's an excellent Pokemon to bring up after somebody's been KO'd because of his free retreat. Yada yada, he hits intensely hard for his Flying Press for very little investment. He should be a no-brainer in every fighting deck right now, I feel like. Those are all the pokes. We're running 4 Juniper. We can, of course, run Sycamore, but you know my feelings on that, so I won't get into that. We're opting for 3 Ns. I nearly went for 4, and if you want to go for 4, more power to you. But I wanted to keep our supporter line kind of a little bit lower this time and rely on Versus Seeker to get what we need mid to late game. We've opted for 3 Karina, because Karina makes Medicham very powerful, because obviously you just go get your Medicham and you can go get an item like a Muscle Band or whatever, or some of the other items we're going to be featuring in this build. So I really wanted to feature Karina as well. She's just such a good support. We are also running 1 Lysander, and we are running some decent Versus Seeker support, because this card plays very well with Medicham as well. Speaking of supporters that go well with Medicham, Iris. I just can't seem to leave this card alone. She's just so cool to me, and she's going to rotate out in a few months, so now is definitely the time, if ever. I just love this card. It hits so hard with him because it's dealing double the damage. I mean, like, let's say your opponent's taken 3 prizes. This is plus 60 damage, essentially, on Medicham, so that's pretty impressive. And nobody ever expects it, and you can, of course, capitalize on Versus Seeker once again. And we are also running Lysander's Trump card. This is basically because we got a lot of 1 and 2 ofs that are fairly important, and it's good for bringing back like strong energies, and we have Karina and things like that that can really bring back our 1 ofs that we cycle. So we are opting for the Trump card, and it hoses a couple of decks if you play it correctly, so we're also taking advantage of that. Now, as far as our non-supporters, we're running 4 Fighting Stadiums because, well, obviously it's boosting damage, it's very consistent, and this overlaps other people's stadiums, yada yada, yeah, it's a stadium type of environment. We're opting for 3 Muscle Bands, because Lucario EX can capitalize on this, so we want a flexible power boosting item here. But we're also running 2 Silver Bangle, because everybody except Lucario EX can use it, and on Medicham that extra 10 points becomes an extra 20, of course, and it really gives you some extra oomph to really put the damage in. Now, another interesting item we've opted for is Focus Sash, because one of the problems we had before with Medicham was the fact that he would take a hit and like he would just be gone, and we needed that extra turn sometimes to get that second energy onto him, because our opponents were going kind of quickly, and speed is a thing in the environment right now. But Focus Sash, more or less, with the exception of like Hypnotoxic Laser, and well, that's really the only source of poison you really have to worry about. But other than that, this basically guarantees you a second turn, so you can basically assure that Medicham's going to take at least 1 KO through this. Even though it's not boosting your damage, 2 turns of getting whacked by him should definitely KO somebody. So it's to boost him, and of course the Lucario EX can use that to take on bigger things sometimes. We do have a Tool Retriever. This is great with Focus Sash. Once you survive your big hit and go down to 10, you can Tool Retriever to pick it back up and use that Focus Sash on somebody else, and maybe even replace that Focus Sash with, say, a Muscle Band or a Silver Bangle to pick up a surprise KO. And of course, this can also help your Lucario EX by pulling Flare Tools off, which is nice. Our ace spec is going to be Computer Search. Basically because, yeah, we like that boosting ability quite a bit. It's pretty important. It just gets us whatever we need. It gets us the supporter. It gets us the item, you can pick up Karina to go get 2 things. It's just a deck where we really have to make our situations happen correctly and at the right time. So computer search is pretty much compulsory for us in this deck. We're also running 4 acro bikes. This could be a debatable card, but I like the speed factor here a lot. And this is one of the reasons I think that I kind of tip toward Lysander's trump card, because this way we may sacrifice a little bit of long-term content in order to get our early game speed, so trump card can cycle things back for late game once specific cards are more necessary. So once again, we're adding a little bit of a speed element to our deck. We are still running our 1 energy switch, so that we can move energies around and power things up. As a number of our Pokemon have an energy cost that can, for a speed-based deck, sometimes be a little challenging, especially late game. This can help us sneak in a somersault kick or a yoga kick our opponent may not expect. We're also running a switch. You can opt for escape rope, but a lot of times the thing we want to knock out is the immediate threat, which is usually in the active slot, so escape roping can actually help your opponent sometimes. So I've opted for the switch. If you want to take that route, that's fine with me, but as for me, I'm going to be going for switch. And we are, of course, our last item, we are running 3 Versus Seekers to tap into all those extra supporters, and that way we can Juniper/Sycamore them away without fear and still be able to use them late game. And Karina is always a good pull. And, of course, that way we can use our trump card very flexibly. And here we've got 4 strong energies as part of our energy lineup, which is really just quite obvious. I mean, why wouldn't you be running strong energy? It's an amazing card. It's probably still the best of the typed special energies, pretty much without a doubt. That extra 20 is amazing, especially with Medicham. And then the last of our deck, we've got 8 fighting energies, and that's 12 energy total, and that should be enough, especially with our acrobikes kind of helping to pull us through a little bit. So, this is Medicham Strikes Back. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a try at your local. I don't think you'll be disappointed. This is a really fun deck to play. So anyway, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, check me out on Twitter. Link will be found down below in the description, and I will see you next time on my channel.